I have on no makeup this morning. I've been on the phone for almost 2 hours trying to deal with this thing. Okay. So somebody pulled in. So for this morning, I talked to the Insurance Commission, the State Department of Insurance, the Insurance Commission, and the Fraud Board. And they all agree that whatever happened was fraud. So I've got to get an investigator on it. So I've got a 3-page application that I'm trying to get printed out so I can fill it out and get it sent back in. I just needed to take a break and walk away from the mania. So everybody that has heard my story is freaked out. So then I decided, okay, now since I've got an investigator that's fixing to be assigned to this, and I'm doing the application for the investigator, I said to hell, boy, have you missed a lot. Now since I've got the application for the investigator and I've done the fraud reports and I'm getting all this so they get an investigator lined up on it, I called one of the doctor's offices that was said to have billed and received HRA funds. They never did. So I'm going to call the rest of the facilities later today to see if they received HRA funds. And if they did not, then basically what the fraud department said was, you have got someone who has hacked your HRA and who has forged your information. Ow! I pinched my finger. Who has forged your information. Oh, I smashed my finger. And who has stolen your money. So at this point, if they investigate and they find out who did it, I want them prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. It will be a federal offense. Will we ever see the money back? No, because even if they do restitution, if they do a federal crime and they serve their time, they'll come out, and if they flatten, then restitution is forgiven. Most of the time. Sometimes they're stickler for it, but most of the time they don't force it to be paid. It doesn't go on a special condition, and therefore it just kind of lollygags around and nobody enforces it. When I was an officer, I enforced it. That was your victim. You pay your victim. But sadly, federal officers are rather lazy. So it looks as though it could have been a possible inside job from someone at Blue Cross Blue Shield, or from someone at the company itself that sold the HRA. So now I've got to do this 3-page application for the investigator, and he will begin his investigation to try to track down who illegally forged and fraudulently used our finances and I hope they find him. I mean, will they? I'm not going to hold my breath. Will it change in any way the way that the hospital that I owe $6,000 to looks at me? No. Will it change in any way the way that the ambulance that I owe $1,000 to looks at me? No. Because they don't care. Because we live in a nation of people that don't freaking care about anybody anymore. So we will most likely still have to financially pack that burden. I'm going to try to get through to financial aid and charity aid again. But like I've said with most aid programs, if you're good people and you work hard, they ain't going to do crap to help you. So someone stole all my $6,000 emergency health fund money. I can't get it back. They may never figure out who it is. And I'm still liable for all the bills. Sucks to be me. I look beautiful. It's the anger. Apparently anger brings out my color. I have on no makeup. I've just been on the phone all morning. But now that I have more information, I've started calling the providers. I'm starting to put the dots together. And honestly, the lady at the fraud department at the Tennessee Commission and Commerce and Fraud Department, she said that I had already done better work than most of the investigators they employ. My confidence may be shaking in them right now because of that, but it's just the way I'm built. Is Denise in here? Denise, are you in here? I know it's early, and Denise normally is not an early person, so Denise may not be in here. David worked till 2, and our freaking post office, our little dinky one, closes at 10, and it's 9:33, so it's going to be tomorrow before I get stuff mailed out. So I'm just going to leave that here for her to see in case she watches this later. I've got it boxed. I've got it ready to go. It's just, it's a larger parcel. It's a larger parcel, and they close early. So I'm here to tell you people, if you have an HRA account with a company, you better keep a close eye on it. I would recommend you not have an HRA account. I would just recommend you have a savings account and that you put money in there and you be happy with what dibbly little percentage the government allows you to accrue. Because your HRA account basically is super susceptible to hackers, liars, people that have learned to manipulate the system, and they will take advantage of people, not poor people that are like pure Medicaid, pure, pure disability, they will try to take advantage of people like my husband that work a lot. And because they know that person will have less opportunities for aid and for somebody to care about recovering what happened, because they just look at that person and they go, well, why don't you just pay the bill? So it's probably going to take us around 8 years to pay this bill. Probably going to write obscenities in the memo line of every check that I cut them, because it will make me feel better. So I'm just a little, well, everybody wants to help me. Everybody knows it's fraud. Everybody says it was forged. Everybody says it's illegal. And that I am absolutely a victim. But justice might as well be a mythical unicorn, because I ain't gonna see it. So that's kind of where I am. Disillusioned, disheartened, and just damn mad. That's where I am this morning. Anybody picks an issue with me this week, God help them. They better be prayed up, packed up, and ready to go, because I am not in the mood. Not in the mood at all. So yeah, that's my warning to you all. And if your company gets sold, zero out all your accounts. Anything that you have in a savings through a company, if that company sells, if that factory sells, if that workplace sells, zero out every account you have from the old company and start fresh with the new. Because they will find a way to take your money. And to date, I still haven't got the information of the name, the telephone number, the address of the company where my HRA was taken through, which the investigator thinks potentially could have been the old owner trying to steal the money, or a hacker at Blue Cross taking the money, and the owner of the company just not caring two craps about his employees and their well-being. So, it's not like my husband didn't just save somebody on the concrete a few weeks ago that could have died at work. He didn't just save their entire company from probably having a huge issue, but to ask them to do anything that is, responsible, necessary, and legal for him is... He said, I don't know what to do, Elizabeth. I said, I'd tell you the next one that drops from a heart attack, just leave them lay on the concrete. My husband is not somebody who will do that. I, on the other hand, have identified the black spot in my heart quite vividly this week. And I know that I have this edge to me. That's how I supervised murderers for a decade. So I'm not in the best of moods. Very sarcastic and nasty and hateful. And I'm not nice. So it's going to take me a little while to get back into Mama Liz mode. I would rather take a physical beating than have somebody, like, defraud me or try to emotionally hurt me. I'd rather just take a physical beating. I'd rather just square up, have it out. I heal a lot quicker from that, and I don't get near as hurt. Angry crafting. Yes, I need to be ripping fabric. But you're just going to have to deal with it and what you know. We are just so close to having all debt paid off. Like, I just have a few more payments on my Jeep. I have to have my Jeep to go to all these freaking specialists because I live in Podunkville, Appalachia. We're so close to having the Jeep paid for. And we took out a small remodel loan to do some stuff on the house that needed to be updated. And to finish paying off a little bit of a semester of Haley's college. And like we just have a couple years left of this. And we thought we were fixing to be, you know, breathing. Just a little sigh of relief. No. Nope. Nope. And the sad thing is that an HRA account is probably one of the hardest things to defraud. So it's someone that is well versed in what they're doing. So my recommendation for everyone here is never, ever, ever have an HRA account. And if you have an HRA account and your company sells, empty it immediately. Pay every medical bill you can. Empty it immediately. Use as much of it as you can on any extenuating medical bills or medical devices or anything, and get it used, because it's highly likely that in the transition someone will take advantage of the mix-up of the paperwork and they will defraud you of your money. And yeah, I know most of y'all are sitting there going, oh my God, well $6,000 is not that much money. Well, listen. When I supervised murderers, I never made more than $31,000 a year. Mind you, I had to have a 4-year degree to do that. I went and got my 6-year degree so I could counsel. 1 year after I finished my master's, they diagnosed me with a neuromuscular disorder that would cripple me. And they told me, oh gee, you're going to go crippled and it's going to affect your organs and you're going to die early. Thank you. I would like to have known that before I spent 6 years in college. I wouldn't have spent 6 years in college. So I have a whole education I cannot use. And the moment I was diagnosed, even though I was still one of the best officers, and you can ask the parole board, you can ask the governor, you can ask my judge, I was one of the best officers they had. Probably the best. I was a liability. They allowed me to do FMLA while I had a leg surgery, because I had the FMLA option and they couldn't ditch me. And as soon as I got done with FMLA and got back to work, they ditched me. So what I have learned in this life is that you very rarely find people that are honest and true. And when you find them, you need to hang on to them, because they're few and far between. But do not ever trust anyone that you work for, any organization, any managerial component, any institution, anything that is a profit or even a not-for-profit. Crooked as a dog's hind leg, lower than a snake's belly in a wagon rut. Just don't trust them. Because I was one of those stupid, silly people that thought, hey, this is a job where people do the right thing. We take care of people. We protect communities. We monitor the bad people. And all I realized was that the people that I monitored were a whole lot less dangerous than the people that managed me. And it seems to be a theme for life. And I'm just honestly ready to move to the hills, live in a cave, and dare anybody to come up my side of the mountain. I'm just kind of there. Hello, Raider. So you can rewind to see what I found out this morning. It was fraud. They are going to investigate it. I won't get my money back, and I'm still going to be liable for the bill. So, I mean, a whole lot of freaking good it did me. And even if I sue the person that took the HRA account, I will never get the money back in time to pay the freaking ER bill. So I'll have to pay the freaking ER bill, or they'll come after everything I have, which is not much. They would pull up and go, well, gee, this was a wasted trip. But it's just the fact that the United States has fallen into such a deplorable piece. I'm sorry, I'm not child friendly today. A deplorable piece of shit nation. To where the crooked people win and the hard-working people get screwed. We're not supposed to talk about it. And we're supposed to say, oh my goodness, that happened to you? How sad. I feel so bad for you. But no one ever fixes the problem. So, yeah, I've not had the best morning. I've spent more than 10 hours on the phone in the last 3 days. And even though what they did was fraud, forgery and fraud, insurance fraud, federal offense. And I have an investigator now that's going to start investigating it. I will probably never see the money. And it won't affect the bill that is still owed by David. Even though we should have had the money to have paid the bill, they'll be like, well, sucks to be you. You still got to pay the bill. And so it's going to take us forever and a day to pay the bill. So I think what I'm going to try to do is go through one of those debt counseling agencies where they put all your bills in and they try to lower everything and you get it done faster. Because at this point I don't know what else to do. I just know that I'm going to pay the least amount of the hospital bills possible because it was ungodly what they billed me. 2 bags of fluid, a Toradol injection, and a CT, over $10,000. And after insurance, still $5,500 plus a $1,000 ambulance ride. And these are the moments that I would like to have 5 minutes alone with the people that do this crap to me. Because there's something to be said about immediate physical justice. I'm tired. Like, David is so tired of hearing me talk about this. Like, he's just like, it's not going to help us. We're going to have to pay it. Just stop bringing it up. And I'm like, I can't resign myself to that. Somebody did me wrong. I have to go after them. They did something wrong. I have to correct this. I have to tell them, no, you don't get to do that to me. And he's just kind of like, it's not worth the animosity. It's not worth this. Just shut up about it and let's just pay the bill. And I'm like, that's not who I am. It's not who I am at all. So I'm frustrating. But yes, if you all want to continue to help me look, I would appreciate it. But I spent all morning on Tennessee Commission, Tennessee Commerce and Commission, Tennessee insurance fraud, and a whole. It was pathetic. It was pathetic. Yeah, no, yeah. I'm lucky because I had regularly paid my student loans. And I've paid a butt ton on my student loans. And when I became disabled, because I was a civil servant, they were like, here's an application, fill it out, and we'll see if we can dismiss the rest, because basically you had one of the most dangerous jobs. You were a civil servant and you never missed a payment, and you're disabled and you're terminal and you're probably not going to live long enough to pay the whole thing. So let's try to erase the rest of this debt for you. And I'm like, okay, thanks, great, I appreciate that, you know. So I mean, that's one blessing I have had. But I just cannot get over people being so mean to other people. So mean. Southern Hell, when you said that when they cashed it out, what do you mean? You wish you were rich, you'd be my sugar mama. And see, that's the thing. I don't want a sugar mama or sugar daddy. I just want people to do the right thing. I just want to wake up in a world where people do the right thing. And I don't have to look at people and go, should I trust you? Or should I watch you? And wonder what your motive is. And, you know, I hate that I have that, but I have that in the back of my head at all times now. Well, it was an HRA, which is different from an HSA, but they completely stole they stole it within 6 months. They stole $6,000 in 6 months. And it's just like, so now I've got to pay this huge $5,500 bill for David's kidney stone. I don't know how a kidney stone can cost $5,500. I just, like, if a mechanic overcharges, you can call other garages and be like, they can turn over this many man hours, and this is the average cost, and I think you're trying to screw me over, and the garage owner go, oh shit, yeah, she got me. Okay, y'all lower the price, because I've done that before. But when it's a doctor and it's 2 bags of fluid, 1 Toradol injection, and a CT, and they charge you $10,000, and you go, if I'd come in here with no insurance, I would have walked out maybe paying $2,100. Why do you have insurance? And I understand that one bad car wreck or one, can ruin you financially. I understand that. But I've been ruined financially by being overprotective and super vigilant and prepared, and I've been screwed over. No, and it's just like, oh my God. I don't know what to do. I have no idea what to do. It's just been frustrating. What they were doing was they were sending in fictitious bills stating that they were my PCP, my pharmacy, and my ENT, and saying that it needed to be reimbursed, and they were either me or David. And so they were reimbursed my entire $6,000 HSA or HRA, and yeah, that's how they got it. It's pathetic. Yeah. Oh, I don't like attorneys. I mean, I have a few good friends that are attorneys, and they're good people. But for the most part, I really dislike attorneys. Like, everybody's like, you should have gone to law school. You have a mind to go to law school. And I was like, I don't want to go to law school, because the prerequisite to go to law school is you have to turn into a turd. I don't want to be a turd, because I've not ever met a really good lawyer. Just not. They're all kind of shady. and manipulative, and they would come to me when they were working deals for my probationers or my parolees and be like, how about we do this? And I was like, I can't make a deal. I have to show you his violations, and I have to go for the judge and the parole board, and the parole board and the judge get to make that decision. I don't make that decision. Oh, but you could show a little leniency and not do this or take this off the warrant or no, I can't. I have to list all the infractions. I cannot. I am sworn under oath to report this honestly and accurately. Oh, Elizabeth, you take your job too seriously. You bet your sweet baby Elizabeth doesn't want to be in the po-po, being dealt into the next hand of poker and trying to play commissary catch-up and Echo Pod. You know, and it's like, apparently other people are not terrified of doing illegal things. And I'm like... And I've always been someone that's like followed the law. Like, right there it is, and I'm on it. And matter of fact, I had a lot of lawyers would say, well, whose side are you on? Because they would think I was protecting my probation or my parolee. And I was like, I'm on the side of Tennessee state law. That's what I have to follow. And they couldn't understand that. And so maybe it's because I have that mindset that I have to make this, I have to make someone accountable, and I have to see this go to court, and I have to see somebody that did this to me, and I have to look at them, and I just would love to have 5 minutes alone with them in a closed room. Yeah, I can't lie either, so I couldn't be an attorney. I can't lie either. I don't lie very well. I just, y'all know how I talk. It just, if I think it comes out, no filter. So I could not be an attorney, and it doesn't work. Yeah, it doesn't work at all. Hackers are smart humans with absolutely no soul. Except for that one dude that hacks and actually helps people. I like him. But most hackers are people that have no soul. They have no moral compass of right or wrong. I've gone to the firm that adjudicated the claims. They swear the HRA billed, but the doctor's offices are like, no. So he was very careful. He sneakily went straight through the insurance company, bypassed the local people that would have known to have